Here's something you can test tonight, and it will probably work. Sit near your dog when they're calm and looking at you, and yawn. A big, obvious, unmistakable yawn. There's a real chance that within a few seconds, your dog yawns too. It feels like a cute coincidence. It is anything but. Because that little chain reaction, your yawn triggering theirs, may be one of the most quietly profound things your dog does, and almost nobody knows what it actually reveals. Most people assume a yawning dog is tired or bored, and sometimes they are. But the yawn that answers your yawn is a completely different thing, and the science behind it points somewhere remarkable. It's called contagious yawning, and in humans it's tied to one of our deepest social capacities. The fact that your dog catches your yawns at all suggests they may share a piece of that same capacity, aimed directly at you. By the end of this, you'll understand why your dog yawning back at you might be one of the clearest windows into how connected they really are to you. Stay with me because there's also a completely different reason dogs yawn that has nothing to do with tiredness or connection, and reading it wrong is one of the most common mistakes owners make. Let's set aside the obvious explanation first. Yes, dogs yawn when they're sleepy, just like we do, and a yawn as your dog settles down for the night is exactly what it looks like. That kind of yawn isn't our subject today. What we're interested in is the yawn that has nothing to do with being tired, the one that happens in response to you. Because here's the strange thing about yawning in general. It's contagious, and science still finds that genuinely puzzling. You know the feeling. Someone near you yawns, or you read the word yawn, or you watch a video of someone yawning, and suddenly you have to do it too. In humans, this isn't random. Contagious yawning has been linked to social connection and to empathy, our ability to share and mirror the states of others. People tend to catch yawns more readily from those they're emotionally close to, family and friends, than from strangers. Hold on to that fact, because it's the key that unlocks everything about why your dog does it. Now here's where it gets remarkable. Dogs don't just yawn among themselves. Dogs catch yawns from us, from humans, a different species entirely. Researchers have demonstrated that dogs are more likely to yawn after watching a human yawn than after seeing a control movement, the same contagious effect we see between people, crossing the species line from human to dog. Think about how strange and wonderful that actually is. Most contagious yawning in the animal world, where it's been observed at all, happens within a species. One chimpanzee catching another chimp's yawn, for instance. For a dog to catch a human's yawn means the effect is leaping across a species boundary, from a primate to a canine, two animals separated by tens of millions of years of evolution. That isn't a small thing. It only makes sense if dogs have become extraordinarily plugged into us specifically, and that's exactly what happened. Contagious yawning is woven into social and emotional connection. For it to jump from humans to dogs, dogs had to evolve enough sensitivity to our states to be affected by them, to be wired into us closely enough that our involuntary signals ripple into them. Over tens of thousands of years of living at our side, dogs became attuned to human cues to a degree no other animal matches. Our faces, our voices, our emotions, even subtle shifts we don't know we're showing. The contagious yawn may be one small, visible symptom of that deep attunement. When your dog catches your yawn, it's a tiny piece of physical evidence that they are tuned to you on a level most people never realize. Your involuntary signals reach them. That's not nothing. That's connection made visible. So why does this happen? The leading idea connects contagious yawning to the roots of empathy, the capacity to be affected by and to share another's internal state. In humans, the people most prone to catching yawns tend to score higher on certain measures of empathy, and we catch yawns most from those we're closest to. If the same principle extends to dogs, and the research suggests it may, then a dog catching your yawn is a faint echo of that same machinery, an automatic synchronizing with the emotional state of someone they're bonded to. We should be careful and honest here, because this is still an active area of research, and not every study agrees. Some researchers have found the effect clearly, others have struggled to reproduce it, and the debate over how strong it really is, and exactly what it means, is genuinely unsettled. That honesty matters, and it's worth more than a tidy claim. We can't say your dog feels empathy exactly the way you do, and anyone who tells you the science is fully settled is overselling it. But even with all those caveats, the overall pattern is striking, and it points in a consistent direction. That your dog is not a separate creature running on its own track beside you. They are, in subtle automatic ways, synchronized with you. Their body answers your body, and a yawn passing from you to your dog is one of the few moments you can actually see that synchronization happen in real time. Here's the detail that turns this from interesting to genuinely moving. If contagious yawning were just a mechanical reflex, dogs would catch yawns equally from anyone. But that's not what researchers found. Studies have suggested that dogs are more likely to catch yawns from their own owner, a familiar person, than from a stranger. The closer the bond, the stronger the effect. Just like in humans. This is the clue that proves it isn't random. It maps directly onto the bond. And it's something you can explore yourself, which is the test I mentioned at the start. Try yawning near your dog when they're relaxed and paying attention to you, and see if they catch it. Then notice, over time, whether they respond to you this way more than they respond to people they don't know well. You're not running a controlled experiment, of course, and not every dog catches yawns at all. But if your dog does answer your yawns, pay attention to what it's quietly telling you. Out of all the humans whose yawns they could catch, the ones that reach them most are the ones they love most. The contagious yawn follows the bond, and in your home the bond points to you. Now the completely different reason dogs yawn, the one I promised, and it's the one that gets misread constantly. Dogs also yawn when they're stressed, uncomfortable, or trying to calm themselves or diffuse tension. This kind of yawn has nothing to do with sleepiness or with catching yours. In the study of dog body language, a yawn in a tense moment is what's often called a calming signal or an appeasement signal, a way a dog manages their own stress and signals that they mean no harm. This matters enormously for reading your dog correctly. Think about when you might see it. At the vet, in a noisy, crowded place when being hugged a little too tightly, when two dogs are sizing each other up, or when a child is leaning over them. A yawn in a clearly non-sleepy, slightly tense moment is often your dog saying quietly, "I'm a bit uncomfortable here." Owners miss this all the time. They assume the dog is relaxed and sleepy when the dog is actually asking for a little space. So the full picture of yawning has three branches: the sleepy yawn, the contagious yawn that connects them to you, and the stress yawn that's asking for relief. And once again, the way to tell them apart is the master skill of this whole channel: context. The same yawn means completely different things at bedtime, beside a yawning you, and in a tense moment at the vet. Step back and look at what the contagious yawn really tells us, because it reframes the whole relationship. We tend to think of ourselves as observing our dogs, watching them, reading them, managing them. The contagious yawn flips that around. It shows your dog is constantly, automatically reading and absorbing you, so finely tuned to your state that your involuntary signals trigger involuntary responses in their body. You are not just their owner. You are something their nervous system is quietly synchronized with. That's a profound thing to sit with. The bond between you and your dog isn't only the obvious stuff, the play, the cuddles, the walks. Underneath all of it runs this layer of automatic attunement, where your states and theirs are subtly linked, mirrored, shared. The contagious yawn is just the one piece of that hidden layer you can actually see with your own eyes. For every visible yawn that passes between you, there's a whole invisible world of your dog reading your breathing, your posture, your mood, your scent, every moment of every day. They are studying you constantly, not because they have to, but because you are the center of their world, and understanding you is what they do. Now the practical edge, because reading any behavior well means knowing its limits. Yawning is overwhelmingly normal and healthy. A sleepy yawn, a contagious yawn, a stress yawn in a tense moment, all completely ordinary. There's nothing to worry about in any of them. But there are a couple of things worth keeping in mind, and as always, the theme is context and change. The first is really about reading the stress yawn correctly rather than health. If your dog is yawning a lot in situations that aren't sleepy, take it as information. They may be telling you they're uncomfortable, and the kind thing is to give them a little space or ease the situation rather than pushing them through it. Learning to spot the stress yawn can genuinely improve your dog's life. The second is the usual principle of change. If your dog suddenly starts yawning excessively and repeatedly in a way that seems out of character and isn't explained by tiredness, social context, or stress, or if it's paired with other changes, then, as with any sudden behavioral shift, it's worth a calm mention to your vet, simply to be thorough. But for the everyday yawn, the one that answers yours across the room, there's nothing to do but appreciate it for the small marvel it is. So tonight, try it. When your dog is calm and watching you, give them a big, slow yawn and wait. If a few seconds later their jaw stretches into a yawn of their own, you'll know you're not looking at a coincidence or at a tired dog. You're watching a signal pass from your body into theirs, the same way it passes between people who are close. You're watching the invisible thread between you flicker into view for just a moment. And remember what that thread is made of. Out of every creature on earth, your dog has tuned themselves to you, so closely that your yawns reach inside them and pull an answer out. They didn't have to become this attuned to a different species. Evolution and a life lived beside you made them this way, made them into an animal whose body quietly echoes yours. They catch your yawns because, somewhere along the way, they made you the one whose signals matter most. Of all the people in the world they could be synchronized with, they chose to be synchronized with you. If this changed the way you see that yawn, leave a like and subscribe, because every video here is about the hidden depth inside the behaviors we overlook, built on what the science actually says, and honest about where it's still debated. Tell me in the comments, does your dog catch your yawns? Try it tonight and report back. And if you've ever wondered why your dog rolls over and shows you their belly, it's a deeper sign of trust than most people realize, and that's the next video.